Good morning, everyone. Today, me and my group is here to present you a PPT on the topic October Revolution and its effects.
October Revolution. The October Uprising or the Bolshevik Revolution was a seizure of state power in the Russian Revolution of 1917. The uprising began on 24 October. Sensing trouble, the Prime Minister summoned troops in the city. It took place with an armed insurrection in Petrograd on October 25. The revolution was led by the Bolsheviks. At dawn, the military seized the buildings of two Bolshevik newspapers. In a swift response, Military Revolutionary Committee began the takeover of government buildings on October 24, 1917. The following day, the Winter Palace was captured. Many ministers were arrested and various military points were taken over. After the revolution, there followed the struggles of the Russian Civil War and the creation of the Soviet Union in 1922.
Changes made after October. Most industries and banks were nationalized in November 1917. Land was declared social property and peasants were allowed to seize land of nobility. To assert the change, new uniforms were designed for the army and officials following a clothing competition in 1918. In November 1917, the Bolsheviks conducted the elections to the Constituent Assembly, but they failed to gain the majority and support. In March 19, despite opposition by their political allies, the Bolsheviks made peace with Germany at Brest-Litovsk. The Bolshevik Party was renamed the Russian Communist Party. In November 1917, the Bolsheviks conducted the elections to the Constituent Assembly, but they failed to gain the majority. In January 1918, the Assembly rejected Bolsheviks' measure and Lenin dismissed the Assembly. He thought all the Russian Congress of Soviets was more democratic than the elected in uncertain conditions. In March 1918, despite opposition by their political allies, the Bolsheviks made peace with Germany at Brest-Litovsk. In the year that followed, the Bolsheviks became the only party to participate in elections to all Russian Congress of Soviets, which became the parliament of the country.
Bolsheviks became the only party to participate in the elections to the All-Russian Congress of Soviets, which became a one-party state. Trade unions were kept under party control. The secret police called Cheka at first and then OGPU and NKVD punished those who criticized Bolsheviks. Many young writers rallied to the party because it stood for socialism and for change. After October 1917, this led to experiments in the arts architecture. Effects of the Russian Revolution on the world. In many countries, communist parties were formed, like the Communist Party of Great Britain. The Bolsheviks encouraged colonial people to follow their experiment of taking power. Many non-Russians from outside the USSR participated in the Conference of the People of East, and the Bolshevik founded Comintern, an international union of pro-Bolsheviks. Some received education in USSR's Communist University of the Workers of the East. By the time of the outbreak of the Second World War, the USSR had given socialism a global face and world stature.
The Civil War. When the Bolsheviks ordered land redistribution, the Russian army began to break up. Their leaders moved to South Russia and organized troops to fight the Bolsheviks, who were the Reds. During 1918 and 1919, the Russian Empire was controlled by the Greens, who were the socialist revolutionaries, and Whites, the pro-Tsarists, who were backed by the French, American, British, and Japanese troops. All of them fought a civil war with the Bolsheviks. By January 1920, the Bolsheviks controlled most of the former Russian Empire. Cooperation didn't work where Russian colonists themselves turned Bolshevik. In the name of defending socialism, Bolshevik colonists brutally massacred local nationalists in Khiva in Central Asia.
Most non-Russian nationalities were given political autonomy in the Soviet Union, which was the state the Bolsheviks created from the Russian Empire in December 1922. But since this was combined with the unpopular policies that the Bolsheviks forced the local government to follow, attempts to win over different nationalities was only partly successful.
Did you know? Although these revolutions occurred in March and November, they are still referred to as the February and October revolutions, respectively, because Russia was still using the old style Julian calendar. The revolution changed the Russian state into a Soviet nation. The abdication of Emperor Nicholas II changed Russia into a communist state. The revolution also led to the establishment of the very first Marxist state in the whole world. Thank you for being such patient listeners. I hope you have a good day ahead.